Back for the third league of the day, we spun the wheel and hit Hogaak. So Hogaak sometimes shows up in dredge decks, but this is not dredge, although it's doing something kind of similar. So we are trying to get creatures into the graveyard and then either reanimate them or Hogaak from the graveyard. So the graveyard synergy cards we have are Careful Study to loot 2, Hedron Crab, which we can use to target ourselves to mill 3 on lands, and Stitcher Supplier, which mills 3 when it enters or dies. We also have Cabal Therapy, and then those are our main enabler cards. Then on to Bowmasters, because why wouldn't it be in a black deck? Bloodghast, which we can get back for free from the graveyard. Prized Amalgam, which we can get back for free by either getting back Bloodghast for free or by Hogaak for free or by reanimating something. We've got Grist, which we use to mill things into our graveyard, which is useful for putting Therapy, Bloodghast, Hogaak into the graveyard or reanimator targets, and it itself is a creature in the graveyard, so you can reanimate it. Then we've got Grief to take our opponent's stuff and can reanimate it. And then finally Hogaak, which can only be cast from the graveyard but has Convoke and Delve, so we just try to beat people to death with this giant Hogaak. Then our lands are a bunch of Sultai color lands, which include 1 Dryad Arbor and 2 Wastelands, and then everything else is just Sultai lands, including a bunch of fetches. And that is the main deck. Big problem being this deck really doesn't have a good way to interact with stuff outside of Grief and Cabal Therapy. So then the sideboard, we have 2 Flusterstorms for the Spell and Storm decks, Brazen Borrower to bounce problem permanents like Leyline of the Void, for example, Surgical Extraction for enemy graveyard decks, 1 Fatal Push for creature decks, Oof for artifact decks, Force of Vigor similar, and Pithing Needle for any Pithing Needle related need. Anyway, that's Hogaak. So third league of the day, let's go. All right, we're on the play for game 1. So let's see, I can Careful Study, put Bloodghast and maybe Therapy in the yard, depends. I mean, I guess the hand's fine, let's keep. Opponent mulls a 6. All right, so fetch land, fetch, grab Underground Sea, cast Careful Study, discard Hogaak, Bloodghast, over to the opponent. Wooded Foothills, fetch, Taiga. All right, so probably lands. Lands is the deck that plays Taiga more than any other deck. Okay, well, Orcish Lumberjack. Sack a forest to add 3 in any combination of red or green. Huh. Flashes in Endurance. Main deck Endurance. Well, exiling Dryad Arbor. Very well, sir. Endurance, we lose this stuff, and then draw. All right, well, I'm going to Careful Study. Discarding Hogaak and I think Wasteland, I'm not sure. And then I think I'm going to evoke Grief and choose Cabal Therapy and then try to reanimate Hogaak. Or maybe Grief, I don't know. Let's discard, I don't know, let's get rid of Underground Sea, I guess. Then we will evoke Grief, exiling Cabal Therapy. Triggers. What do you got going? Okay, it's red-green initiative. Interesting. I'm just going to take both their cards. So let's go take that. Then Grief dies. Then we go fetch into Bayou or Trop. One of the two. Bayou. Reanimate on... I guess I can reanimate on their initiative guy, right? That can't be right. I just got to take Tarmogoyf out of their hand. So let's reanimate Grief. Then take the Tarmogoyf out of their hand. And then pass. And then Hogaak is 7 mana, so if I wasteland them, I can just cast it. All right. Plays Foothills, fetches Forest, float a red, eat it with the Lumberjack. So they drew a spell that's worth casting off of that. Bunch of red mana. Magus of the Moon. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? Okay. Well, you have just gotta be kidding me. What has this game been? Main deck Endurance, eat your stuff. Draw, take both your threats, draw Magus of the Moon. All right, well, whatever. We actually just straight up lose now, right? I have 1 swamp in my deck. Okay, so, I mean, I don't even win the race, right? So, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. It takes me 6 turns to attack them to death. They can cast things I can't. What can I even play? I just have to draw my 1 of swamp, basically, is the only thing I can do. I kill them in 6 turns. They kill me in 7 turns. No, they have 3 attack. So, yeah, we lose the race. All right, back over to them. Vista, sure. No attacks. Yeah, gotta draw our 1 of swamp. Over to them. So if I had reanimated Hogaak, I would win this game. Or if I'd fetched a swamp. Over to them. Seek the Beast. Exiles lands. 1 in 47 chance of hitting a swamp. All right. Man, isn't Blood Moon great? Technically can't scoop because I can draw my 1 of swamp. If I hadn't taken Tarmogoyf, how big would it have been? Land, creature, sorcery, So just a 3/4. All right, go. Hardcast Fury. I can still technically get out of this if I draw Swamp, because I can play Bowmasters and Convoke and Hogaak. All right, we're at 10. Draw the Swamp. 1 in 46 chance. No. All right. So red-green initiative, Blood Moon deck. I don't know. I guess Fatal Push, Brazen Borrower. Orcish Lumberjack is a mana ability, right? Yeah, it is. What do I cut? I think they probably deploy stuff from their hand pretty fast, so Cabal Therapy might not be great. Shave that. Shave. Bowmasters is also just okay. Like, it can kill some of their early guys, but not their bigger guys. All right, let's do that. So now that I know they play Blood Moon, I have to fetch Swamp early. Oh, this hand's really bad. All right, mull this. Okay, better. We can double grief them on turn 1. So keep, put back. I think I'm exiling Stitchers and not Grist, right? So put back. I'm going to fetch the Swamp, probably. So let's put back Underground Sea. All right. So grief, cast, exile Stitchers. Trigger. What's in your hand? Zenith, Magus, Orcish Lumberjack, Bolt. Ugh. So Orcish plus the Zeniths gets a bunch of mana going really fast. If I let them keep Bolt, they can Bolt the grief. That's, I think, fine. So I definitely want to take Orcish Lumberjack, and I probably want to take Magus of the Moon. Although I can play Grist, although not for multiple turns. Yeah, let's just take Lumberjack Magus. If they want to Bolt Grief, that's fine. So take that. Bayou, reanimate, trigger again, take Magus, go. Taiga, Zenith for Dryad, sure. Prized Amalgam, so land, combat, swing, back over to them. Mountain, no attacks, no effects. So they're not Zenithing either. I guess I'm going to play Bloodghast this turn, so let's attack first. Swing. Bolt it, sure. Alright, fetch Swamp, play Bloodghast. Over to them. Our hand's really not doing very well. I very, very seriously need to be able to play Grist. Questing Beast, land Orcish Lumberjack. So that lets them get up to be able to Zenith bombs or I don't know, the initiative guy. Zenith for 2, which they didn't do last turn. Scoos. All right. They didn't play the Lumberjack or the land from exile. Huh. Well, I can't do anything. I can't even attack into them because I'm just not drawing lands. So pass. Scoos Grief, sure. Attack with the Scoos. No, I can't block, obviously, because Bloodghast. Go to 12. Casts the Druid. Can I please draw land? Pass to them. I'm not even going to attack because I need this as fodder for Grist to kill Scoos off, because otherwise the rest of my deck's not doing much. I assume they just eat both of their guys now. Yeah, eat a guy. Eat a guy. Swing, can't block, go to 7. Why not swing with this as well? I can't block. Just not doing anything. So I assume that means they have endurance. All right, Bowmasters is okay, but if they have endurance, then attacking here is pointless. All right, just pass to them. They just didn't do anything. So confused. Fetch. Gets a Bayou. Minsk and Boo. Fantastic. All right, I'm not going to kill that. I'm going to hope that they try to plus onto their hamster. They probably won't, right? Okay, they will. I figured they would just fling. So Bowmasters, kill the hamster, evoke Fury. All right. Well, that was awful. On to round 2. Round 2 on the play. Let's see. We have Stitchers and Grief. I think that's good enough. All right, let's keep... Probably Amalgam's the worst card in my hand, or is it Bloodghast? I don't know. I guess it honestly depends on whatever I Stitchers first. All right, let's go land Stitchers. So trigger that. Milling over. Verdant, Prize, Reanimate. Grief. I guess Hogaak's the least castable card in my hand, so let's just exile that. Target the opponent. What are they on? All right, well, it's Storm, so let's just take Infernal Tutor. Swamp. Thought sees us. Cool. We don't want either of these cards in our hand. Puts Bloodghast in the yard. I don't think that makes sense. I think they should take Amalgam, because that at least forces us to cast the Ghast as opposed to just playing a land and getting it for free. Cabal Therapy would be the absolute best draw here. Putting it in our graveyard also lets us trigger the Amalgam, so it just made absolutely no sense to pick Bloodghast there. Oh, there's another Bloodghast. So trigger, get Bloodghast back, triggers Amalgam, cast another Bloodghast, and then go to combat, swing with Stitchers. We have a pretty slow clock here, though. I guess what? It's a 2-turn clock. We have 8 damage on the board. No, it's actually a 3-turn clock if we don't find anything else. LED. Did they just have it? Bauble. All right, they drew into it. Awesome. Wish Claw. Yeah, and then they just wish for Beseech, and then we lose. Yeah, all right. Let's just concede. Okay, so I want Surgical, Flusterstorm, Oof. How good is Needle? I can Needle and name Wish Claw, but I don't think I can name anything else that matters. The Oof already shuts that down, so just these alone I think are fine. Force of Vigor can also do what? Maybe interact with them to some degree. What's bad? Bowmasters, doesn't matter. Grist, way too slow. Just thinking, is any of this package worse than just putting in more of this? Although I'm cutting Grist, which means that don't have that many green cards to even use Force of Vigor with. Yeah, all right, let's run this. All right, we got Oof, we got double Grief on turn 1. So keep... It once again sucks that we have to discard Cabal Therapy for that, but whatever. All right, Evoke Grief, exile Cabal Therapy. Trigger, what do you got? Well, we're taking Surgical first, and then we're taking Burning Wish. Underground Sea, Reanimate, and take Burning Wish. All right, over to them. They have 3 Mox Opals and Chrome Mox. Swamp. Then they're passing. And then we just play Collector Oof, and then they probably lose. Combat. Swing. So all these cards are dead. So they have 2 unknown cards. Urza Saga. We drew another land. All right. I'm going to probably fetch Dryad Arbor here just to get more damage in faster. So combat, swing. They go to 12 and then back to us, or back to them rather. Saga goes to 2 counters. They can actually win just off of the Saga if they find another mana source. Plays Chrome Mox, plays Mox Opal. All right, they didn't have another mana source at least. All right, let's go fetch Dryad Arbor, and that puts them on a 2-turn clock. Surgical Extraction. All right, combat, swing, Dark Ritual. Are you kidding me? They're going to have an instant... Oh, they're Dark Ritual and to make this a construct. Fantastic. So now they can block Collector Oof. Sure. All right, Collector Oof dies. Their stuff gets turned back on, and then they can fetch Shadow Spear and actually win this race. Absolutely insane. All right. Oh, or they can just make another construct too, right? Because Opal's online now. Isn't it cool that decks can win off of just playing a land? Just play a land and you win the game. They grabbed LED. Does that mean they just have the win? Because otherwise they would just grab Shadow Spear, right? I don't know. Does Storm even play Shadow Spear? Maybe they don't. No attacks. All right, I guess I thinned my deck. Maybe I don't, because I may want to trigger Bloodghast depending on stuff happening. I don't know. Well, we're continuing to draw just nothing. Just absolutely nothing. So over to them. I'm actually debating, like, am I supposed to Surgical the Urza Saga? But I don't think I am. Plays another Mox Opal, floating the first Mox Opal mana. Plays the other Mox Opal, so I assume they're going to try to go off this turn. Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Infernal Tutor, sure. LED Crack. They have 8 mana. When does Flusterstorm become actually able to stop what they're doing? Beseech the Mirror. So now Gaia's Will, if they're casting that, I can Fluster. Okay. So Fluster this, and now they don't have the mana to pay for it. Same targets on all of them. I'm surprised they wouldn't try to just win with the Construct tokens. Like, those alone would win the game. Yeah. All right, so now no one's doing anything. I can actually attack them with Grief now, shockingly. They're going to attack. No. Drawing. Bloodghast. All right, this has haste at least, so Bloodghast. Swing with these 2. They can just block 1 here, but then I just get it back for free, or they can block 2 here. Yeah, 2 here, and then we'll just go damage. Now they have a 2/2 construct that can't block without trading with this. So they may have just played themselves out of winning. Swing with the construct. Sure, no blocks. We go to 13, then it's back to us. Then I get to attack them. Swing for 3. Fatal Push the Bloodghast. Okay, let's fetch, grab a land, trigger the Bloodghast to come back, and then cast Prized Amalgam. All right, we won that one. So they're an Urza Saga deck. Makes me really, really want to play Force of Vigor and Needle. What can I cut for all of that? I probably don't need to play like the full amount of everything. I could cut like 1 Hogaak, 1 Amalgam, 1 Bloodghast, and Stitcher Supplier. Maybe just Stitcher Supplier entirely can go, because it's just not even very good. Just all of this. I guess if I'm on the Force of Vigor plan, I want to have green cards more than other cards. So I should have Hogaak in and take out Hedron Crab. Although Hedron Crab can be useful for targeting them and then surgicaling stuff out of their graveyard. So let's cut Amalgam. All right, submit that. We have Surgical and Cabal Therapy and a Hedron Crab and Careful Study. This seems fine. I'll keep Vault of Whispers. Thought sees us. Well, now they can take the Surgical, which I assume is what they're going to take. Yep, there goes Surgical. Drew a land. All right, let's play Careful Study. So land, do I just play Cabal Therapy? What do I need to therapy? The problem is there's so many things. Like Infernal Tutor, Beseech the Mirror, Burning Wish. There's too many different things that I would need to name. Dark Ritual would be one thing to name, but Who knows if they have that? They might have LED, they might have Chrome Mox. Dark Ritual is probably the thing that gets them to go off the fastest. So, all right, let's therapy them and name Dark Ritual. Their hand is not Dark Ritual. So they have Opal, Saga, Fatal Push, Wish Claw, Adnaz. So their hand is actually pretty slow. So let's see, next turn I can go Hedron, then mill myself, and then potentially just Cabal Therapy the Hedron Crab. There's Wish Claw, Opal. Ooh, Grief. I can't actually play it though. All right, let's see. So let's assume that I just therapy them, right? I take Adnaz, obviously. Then they untap and they have this. They can just make Constructs. Can they win with just the Wishclaw Talisman? They would tap here and they'd have 2 mana left over. God damn this Urza Saga. I guess I do what? I Hedron Crab, mill, see what I hit. Probably just cast Careful Study after that, and then maybe just like upkeep, force both of these or something. I don't know. All right, Hedron Crab, then play this, target me. We milled over Bloodghast. That's pretty cool. And Hogaak. All right, so fetch, Fatal Push the Crab in response. Sure. I guess I should have just therapied right there. So I'm going to play Careful Study, probably almost no matter what, right? So let's grab Tropical, trigger the Bloodghast, and then may as well cast Careful Study. Ooh, Force of Vigor. All right, discard and Wasteland. Discard Grief and a land. Then Cabal Therapy them, sack this, and name Adnaz. Oh, they have Beseech the Mirror in their hand. Oh my god. You just gotta be kidding me here. Do they just win now? Yeah, right? They do, right? Because now they can go Wish for Dark Ritual, Ritual, cast Beseech, Gaia's Will, play everything again? Or are they short? Tutor, 2 mana left over. Actually, yeah, they have to tutor with the Opal, right? Or they just make Constructs. So I guess I Wasteland their Saga this turn. They still make a Construct. Opal, Wishclaw, Wish for Ritual, Ritual, tap, Beseech, sack something. They have this stuff in the graveyard. Then they get to replay Opal, but then they don't have the actual ability to use it. So they're short if they do that. This is instant speed though, right? So they can go, make a they're making a Construct now? All right. Oh my god, reanimate. Thank god. Ugh. All right, Wasteland, trigger, get the Bloodghast back. Then I can reanimate Grief and Grief this out of their hand. Reanimate Grief, trigger, target you. They have Tendrils in their hand. All right, so take Beseech, and now we can get Hogaak. I'm definitely killing this Urza Saga, so kill that. And now I can Hogaak, so convoke these, and then delve away stuff that doesn't matter. All right, get Hogaak, and then I have nothing else to do, so back to them. So Tendrils, 1 unknown card, and the ability to activate Wishclaw Talisman. Bauble, so they can, what? Wish for Ritual, cast Tendrils, Storm is 3, not good enough. Pop Bauble. Bauble triggers, drew a land. All right, so I think they can only get Storm to like 3 or 4. So I do have to be wary of getting hit by this Construct, right? What's the most they can do, right? So let's say they've drawn whatever this is, then they're going to draw another card. And then what if they go like 2 spells, Wish, another spell, Tendrils, right? Or maybe they can like Infernal Tutor plus another thing. So I do have to be wary about attack. So I should just not attack with Grief. It doesn't speed up my clock that much. So let's just go combat, swing here. They didn't block the Bloodghast. I'm quite surprised. All right, play land, go. Plays another Vault of Whispers. Wishclaw. All right, I guess they don't have a way out of it. Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, we won that one. On to round number 3. All right, we're on the play for round 3. We have Grief and Cabal Therapy. So I'm probably doing what? Griefing away the Bloodghast and then Cabal Therapying their hand? No, I'm not getting rid of Bloodghast because I'm going to Careful Study it. So I'm getting rid of Stitchers. Yeah, so this is fine. So keep opponent mulls to 6. All right, land, Grief, exile, Stitchers. They're going to force this. All right, exile, Murktide. All right, so fetch Underground Sea and we'll Careful Study. Discard Hogaak and Bloodghast. And then over to them. Marsh Flats. All right, Hedron Crab, Dryad Arbor, trigger, target me, always yield to this, always yes to this, always yield to this, Amalgam triggers. All right, they have conceded to that. So I assume it's Dimir Tempo. If they're running Force of Will and Murktide with Marsh Flats, it's probably Dimir Tempo, like Dimir Shadow. So that being the case, what do I want? Fatal Push. They probably have Bowmasters and like other things that I want to kill with this. I probably want to Flusterstorm some of their spells, especially if any of their spells are surgical. And then if they run Leyline of the Void, which they probably do, then I want Brazen Borrower. Brazen Borrower is also just good against Murktide, or if they like reanimate a Troll. Which means, what do I cut? Stitchers is probably the most cuttable card, followed by Bloodghast, Amalgam, Hogaak. But then I'm like cutting too many pieces of the main synergy package here. Cabal Therapy gets a lot worse in fair matchups. Maybe I cut 2 of those, leave Hogaak in, leave Amalgam in. I just want to leave all of these. Yeah, just like get her all the therapy. Like most of the therapies is probably fine. All right, let's run that. All right, we got Careful Study into discard Hogaak and whatnot. That's fine. And then Ballmasters and Borrower to follow it up. Swamp. All right, Underground Sea, Careful Study. Discard Amalgam and Hogaak. And pass. Cycle the Troll. Gets Underground Sea. Okay. Underground Sea. Dothy Voidwalker. All right, well, we can at least bounce that. Yeah, land and just pass. Land, pass. I think I just let them hit me with it, and then end of turn, either Bowmasters or Brazen Borrower. Go to 17. Reanimate on our Hogaak. Huh. I guess I can Flusterstorm that, or I can just Brazen Borrower, bounce it to my own hand, but then that leaves Dothy in play. All right, let's just let them do that. Whenever a creature enters, if it entered from your graveyard, plays another land. Fetch. They take a lot of damage by doing that too, so that's why I wanted to let them do it. Plays another Dothy. Sure. So then trigger, brings that back, and then we just Petty Theft, bounce this to my hand. Yeah, bounce my own Hogaak. And then I can Grist one of these to death. So what? I attack them, then I play Grist, sack this, kill one of the 2 Dothys, and then the other one just kills my Grist. Or I just race them. I could just race them, right? They're at 12, so I hit them, I just play Bowmasters and have Flusterstorm up. It seems acceptable. All right, let's just race them. Swing. And then we have Bowmasters plus Flusterstorm, or also we can flash Brazen Borrower in. Swinging with the Dothys very well. We go to 11. Casts Brainstorm. I will respond with Bowmasters. So let's fetch. Let's grab Tropical Island, and then let's cast Bowmasters. All right, that won us the match. On to round number 4. On the draw for round 4. So our opponent was, I don't know, ticking down for a while. What are we doing with this hand? I can Careful Study and then don't really have anything else going on, depending. But I mean, the hand's fine. Like, we got Reanimate, we got Careful Study to filter into more stuff. All right, we'll keep. Flooded Strand, another Reanimate. All right, fetch. Let's grab Underground Sea. Let's cast Careful Study. Opponent fetches in response. Island, Brainstorm. I smell a daze coming. No. All right, discard Amalgam and Cabal Therapy, I guess. Let's discard Amalgam and Bowmasters, and then I can reanimate Bowmasters, therapy them twice. Back over to them. So, another land, let's reanimate Bowmasters, and then that will also trigger the Amalgam. All right, trigger, target them. Always yield to this, always yield to this. So what are they? They're a blue Brainstorm deck that's playing Vista and Flooded Strand, and they're not running Yorion. So if they had Brainstorm, they would have Brainstormed before I reanimated this, so they don't have Brainstorm in their hand. I want to get both. So let's therapy them, see if it resolves, first of all. Fetches in response, grabs a plains, swords on our Bowmaster. Okay. All right, what am I naming? So it's got to be Blue-White Control or Stoneblade, right? So they can't have Force of Will, or they probably would have forced some of this. They don't have Daze, they don't have Brainstorm, and they just used swords, so they probably don't have another swords. So what are good names here? 3 Fairy. What else? If they had Stoneforge Mystic, they probably just would have played it last turn. So not that. I'm going to name 3 Fairy. They do have a 3 Fairy. All right. Ooh, and back to basics. Well, we got to snap get that. Cabal Therapy, sack the Orc, back to basics. All right, so their hand is double Narset Snapcaster. Then the Prized Amalgam comes back. Right, it's probably better to just run Grist out here. So combat, swing with the Amalgam. Then play Bayou, play Grist. Then plus. All right, they've conceded to that. They're too far behind, I guess. So it's blue-white. Yeah, so it's blue-white control with no Yorion, no other colors as far as I can tell. Which means I want just as much interactive stuff as possible. So Needle on their Planeswalkers. Brazen Borrower is okay, but not that great. Flusterstorm is probably pretty good. Fatal Push for Snapcaster seems awful. Surgical Extraction just for Snapcaster and nothing else also seems pretty awful. They may have, Rip in the sideboard, which means I do need to probably bring this in order to interact with that. Although if they ever have Rip, they can just replay it. So it's If they have Rip, I guess I just beat them in mid-range, right? So then let's cut. What are the worst cards against 3 Fairy? Hogaak, Stitchers is kind of whatever here. It's usually whatever. Usually just cut that. And then Grist, no. All the graveyard stuff. Like, I can't get rid of everything, even though there are Swords to Plowshares deck. I probably have to leverage Grief in this matchup a lot. I'm not even sure to what degree Pithing Needle is useful, because you probably need to needle the 3 Fairy most of the time, and then they can still have other things to do. Maybe I just don't even bother with that, and instead I just go more... I just stay all in on this combo plan. All right, let's run this. If I knew they had Stoneforge, I would put Fatal Push in, but I don't know if they have it or not. So let's see, we're on the draw. We only have 1 land. The only thing we can play is Stitchers and maybe Flusterstorm, although we do have 2 Griefs, but this hand looks just not very good. I'm not going to count on randomly milling over something, so let's mull this. Well, this hand has no lands at all in it, so we're going to mull this. All right, keep. I probably just have to Grief them, right? And then just have lands after that. So let's put the Hogaaks back. Island for our opponent. 2 Bloodghast. They're a Swords deck, though, so it doesn't even really matter. All right, let's just play a land, and then there's no reason to Grief right now, so let's just pass. I guess, no, that's not true. If they have Stoneforge Mystic, then there is a reason to Grief now. All right, let's Grief. Target you. What do you got? Snap, Force of Will, Narset, Surgical. I don't care if they have Surgical. I can beat a Surgical. I probably just take Snapcaster or Narset. Snap Surgical is also kind of annoying, but the Narset's the thing that gets them the closest to like being able to recoup cards, and I don't have a good answer to it right now either. And also we have Careful Study in our deck, which it shuts down. So yeah, let's take Narset. All right, back over to them. Prismatic Vista. All right, Bowmasters is an excellent draw. So let's play a land and pass. Scalding Tarn, fetch the Plains, Rip. All right, that's fine. All right, Rip. So if I Bowmasters here, they're forced to either force it back or... Yeah, all right, so let's just Bowmasters here. Let's grab Underground Sea and Bayou, and then cast Bowmasters. Will they force it? Yeah, they will force it. Exiling Snapcaster. All right. So the Surgical in their hand is just a straight-up dead card now. Doesn't matter at all. All right, land, Bloodghast, and then over to them. Opponent fetching, so they do have red. So if this is Aerolingus, we're in huge trouble. Jace. That's also a problem. They're going to Fate Seal us. All right. They chose not to use the ability, so that means they left it on top, right? Yeah, Hogaak. All right, combat attack Jace. All right, let's Wasteland your Volcanic. Brainstorm. Pretty sure we're going to lose this now. They have a draw engine plus Rip in play, and we have nothing. Narset. All right, yeah, let's just go ahead and concede this. There's no way I'm going to be able to win here. Ooh, okay, so I guess Force of Vigor has got to come in, because Brazen Bar is not a good enough answer to that. And I guess Pithing Needle is good. They have so many Planeswalkers to name, though. Let's cut Stitchers. Let's cut... Just any of these creatures, since they're a Swords to Plowshares deck, are just so much worse than they normally would be. If the mill plan... If the reanimation plan is bad, then Hedron Crab is also probably kind of bad. All right, let's do that. Like, at the same time, though, you can't side it all out. All right, this is fine. I will keep. Obviously, if they force our Careful Study, then it's so much worse, but... we will try to do it. All right, fetch, Underground Sea, cast Careful Study, discard both Amalgams, and over to them. Flooded Strand, no actions. All right, let's Cabal Therapy them. I'm probably naming Rip because that's the thing that like hurts me the most here. Surgical Extraction are Amalgams in response. Well, that's awful. All right, goodbye Amalgams. Therapy. I guess I'm not naming Rip anymore then. What would I name instead? Narset, Snapcaster, I have no idea. There's just too many things to name. Let's name Narset. Back to basics, Swords, Force of Will. Well, let's Therapy again. So Bayou, Therapy, back to basics. Have to name that or we're dead. So then over to them, plays the island, and then it's back to us. Well, let's try to see if Grist resolves. Not force it, exiling to Fairy. Sure. Over to them. I guess I can reanimate it as well next turn, so that's fine. Plays the Tundra. Ooh, Hogaak. All right. Reanimate Grist. Plus on Grist. We milled Bowmasters. We can also Therapy them. So let's Therapy with the Insect token and name Swords. So target you, sack my Insect. Swords to Plowshares. All right, so their hand's just Volk Plains. Since their hand is Volk Plains, let's just run out Bowmasters right now before they have an opportunity to cast a draw spell. All right, so back to them. Plays Volk. Prismatic Ending, I have no idea what just happened. They didn't tap correctly. They tried to Prismatic Grist and then just didn't tap correctly. I guess so, because they still have the mana floating. Yeah, they just didn't tap correctly. All right, round 5. How in the world am I doing better with this deck than Delver and like, okay, whatever. So what I'm learning is that this is basically like the mid-range version of Dredge. Hello, just got here from your recent Archfiend alteration video. Nice to catch you live. Well, it's nice to see you here. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy these streams. We're in round 5 of Hogaak. Let's see, I've got Careful Study, and I can bin these things. That's fine. So keep. Opponent mold a 6. Ancient Tomb. Well, that's never a good sign. Oh no, Blood Moon. Ugh, turn 1 Blood Moon. Well, time to have a 1 in 52 chance of drawing our swamp. Grief. I guess I grief them, and I'm probably losing this game regardless, so let's just give them the least information possible. So let's grief them and exile Bowmaster so that they think we're just tempo. Alright, what do they got? Rabblemaster, Fable, Shatter Skull Smashing, all of which are bad for us. We can't take them off of both of them. I guess I take them off Fable? Question mark? We're just going to lose regard. I guess I just take them off this. We're never going to be able to keep them off of a third land forever, though. So yeah, I guess just take that. All right, Drew. Nope. Back to them. 1 in 50 chance of the swamp. Underground Sea. Go. All right, they found Chrome Mox, so we're dead now. Exiles another Blood Moon. Rabblemaster. We're extremely dead. I don't even know how I could win this game even if I did draw the swamp, though, right? Like, then I can only play black cards. All right, let's concede. So, mono red prison. I want what? Brazen Borrower, Force of Vigor, Fatal Push in case they have Magus of the Moon, which they probably do. And then I want to cut. Let me think. What do I want to cut? Not Hogaak because I want green for Force of Vigor. So I want to cut the dinkiest graveyard stuff. So like Stitchers, Bloodghast, Amalgam. How good is Grist in this matchup? It's okay. And then Hedron Crab. Something like that. Although, no, I don't want to cut Grist because, again, green. Let's just cut another Hedron Crab. Yeah, I guess I go with that. All right. This is fine. It's so awkward that I can't fetch the swamp on turn 1 with this hand, though, because I need to use Careful Study. So if they just have another turn 1 Blood Moon, we die instantly. I guess I can fetch swamp and then next turn just play Underground Sea. It's like we're just so incredibly dead if they have the turn 1 Blood Moon. Leyline of the Void. How the hell did they know we're a graveyard deck? I guess they know we're a grief deck, so it's likely that... Whatever. All right, now I'm way less inclined to play Careful Study. So let's just play this to make sure that we can't get got. Pass back to them. I guess we still have Bowmasters to cast. Den of the Bugbear. All right, there's Grist. So C, Careful Study. There's another Careful Study. So Amalgam and Bloodghast can't come back, and they're really weak. Well, I guess the Hogaak is basically a dead card unless I draw Force of Vigor. All right, let's just discard the 2 graveyard-centric creatures and then wait. We're just going to wait because potentially have to fetch Swamp. All right, there's Blood Moon, so fetch, Swamp. And now, again, I think we just lose to this Blood Moon. Huh. All right, Grief. Oh, no, I can't with the Leyline in play. Well, whatever. Grief and get rid of... I can potentially reanimate one of their things, right? So discard Hogaak. No, discard Hogaak, discard Grist, Hogaak. Neither one of them function with Leyline in play, so I may as well... All right, let's get rid of Hogaak. Trigger, what do you got? Legion War Boss. All right, I guess I'm reanimating that. So take that, then Grief gets exiled, and then reanimate the War Boss. Go to combat. Swing. Plays another land. Plays Fable. And then we can Bowmaster it. All right, so combat. Trigger this. Swing with the 1/1s. This Mentor is another thing, right? I don't want to lose this, so let's just see if they block a 1/1. Huzzah! Bowmaster. Target this guy. So they lose their Shaman, and then with Bowmaster in play, Fable looting is really bad. They did use the loot anyway and got rid of Chrome Mox and Leyline, so I guess I just target them. Make a 3/3 Orc. Plays another land. Magus of the Moon. Okay, can't use that, so... Man, what do I swing with? Just this thing? This flips over next turn, and then we probably just have to try to get in with everything. So let's just combat, trigger this, make a guy, and then let's just attack with all creatures and Mentor on the Bowmaster if they want to block that. Blocking War Boss, sure. Damage, they go to 9. This flips over. We have to give them as few chances as possible to be able to cast Fury. All right, they make a Goblin. They attack us with Rabblemaster. Another Bowmasters. That is excellent. All right, combat. Swing everything. Blocks there. Blocks there. All right, let's kill Reflection. Flash and Bowmasters. Actually, they're taking 2/5 right now. And then it's going to be 6. Now we just got to kill their guys. Let's kill Reflection off. And then over to them. So this Rabble Master makes the Goblin tokens have to attack. Oh no, they have Fury. Come on, the last card in their hand is Fury. You gotta be kidding me. Swing, we take a whole bunch, go to 9. Can't cast anything. I'm not winning by just blocking. So then this attacks, Fury trades with it, and then we just lose to Rabble Master, which is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go to 1 life. And the alternative, but if they attack, I just have to block it anyway. Yeah, we lose. All right, swing with the Orc. Yep, these trade. Then they get to deal us 8 damage with Rabble Master, and then even if we draw an answer, it doesn't matter. Can't believe they allow Blood Moon to continue to exist in this game. All right, we're dead. 3-2 with Hogaak. Yeah, as I said earlier, it's basically the mid-range version of Dredge. I feel like that just makes it bad because it still gets hit really hard by Graveyard Hate, but it doesn't have like the explosiveness that Dredge has. So it's just kind of a worse version of Dredge.